Joao Pedro. Joao Ronaldo. Joao Pedro de Souza dos Santos, whatever your name is in Brazilian. You, my friend, are cooking. You, my friend, are getting Chelsea fans excited. You, my friend, have now scored 5 goals in 5 games. I'm now considering you in my FPL team. Am I surprised? That's the question. No, I am not. Because Joao Pedro, for me, has been waiting for this type of move. Joao Pedro, for me, is a player that plays better with better players around him. Joao Pedro, for me, plays like he's 30, yet he's only 23. So why should I be surprised? Why should I be surprised by what Joao Pedro is doing at Chelsea Football Club? He is coming to this club with the mentality, that South American aura, the audacity of I'm the man, and he's gone out on the pitch. And that's where you do your talking. And Joao Pedro, you are currently talking. You are currently talking, Mr. Joao Pedro, because 5 goals in 5 games in pre-season, obviously coming into the Club World Cup as well, winning a trophy within 3 games of playing for Chelsea. And now again, a great header against AC Milan, putting the ball in the back of the net, and once again confirming your starting spot against Crystal Palace next week in the Champions League Premier League opener. Getting a bit ahead of myself there. Crystal Palace in the Champions League, imagine. In the Premier League opener. And I have to say, he fully deserves it. I think what Joao Pedro is doing at Chelsea at the moment is exactly what they needed in terms of they need someone that can put the ball in the back of the net because that's what Nicholas Jackson wasn't doing. Now, look, I'm not here to throw shade on Jackson. I think Jackson was a good player at Chelsea. I think they were better with him in the team, but he got chances, didn't take them. The rest of his game was good, link up play and stuff like that. But unfortunately, at a big club like Chelsea, you can do all that, but you need to put the ball in the back of the net. That is the truth, essentially. And I think what Joao Pedro can bring in terms of the link-up play, the dropping in the pockets, running the channels, dribbling ability, creating and scoring, he can do all of what Jackson can do, but finish. I think Joao Pedro is a very underrated finisher, actually, because when I watched him at Brighton, he played as a striker sometimes, but he also played as sort of a number 10, a false nine in terms of not false nine, a second striker playing off Welbeck or whatever it is. So I feel like Joao Pedro never really got himself in loads of number 9 positions where he's just straight one-on-one with the keeper or he's 6 yards out and he's just got to try and finish it like a striker. I always feel like he's on the edge of the box, waiting. He's quite a pretty footballer. He's creating. He's the one playing the pass or the dink over the top. So we've never really seen him as type of like a number 9 Cavani, you're just in front of goal. Diego Costa, you're just in front of goal. Can you hit the net? And I think we're going to see more of that this season where actually we're going to see, can he showcase himself? But when I look at him and the way he does finish, he's very composed. He's very cool. He looks like he doesn't panic. He don't just lash it. Like he's always trying to finesse it or he's dinking the keeper. He has a picture in his brain of what he wants to do to accomplish his finish. And at the moment for Chelsea, 5 and 5, it's working. You're seeing a composed striker, an attacker, whatever you want to call him with Joao Pedro, but I'm going to say striker right now because that's where he's going to start for Chelsea. And at 23 years of age, he's playing with maturity. And I think this could be a great signing for Chelsea because one thing I thought about when I was watching Joao Pedro at Brighton is that he's going to get his move finally. Like one day he's going to get his move. But when he does get his move, will it work? Will I have to question, like, how's he going to get on? I didn't, because one thing about Joao Pedro for me is that I was like, right, you're very technically gifted. You're a very intelligent player. You can see the IQ for Brighton, his give and goes, his movements, the positions he picks up. He's a very, very clever player. Let's not get it twisted, right? So I was like, when he then moves to a better team, he's then going to get better because he's going to make players better around him because actually Cole Palmer could already see the wavelengths and the connection they've got already. And even his connection with the wingers, they're playing with someone now that's got a good IQ and they can bounce off and feed off. But then Pedro, no offense to Brighton, but obviously he's now playing with, other than Caro Matoma, he's playing with other players that are not really on his level. So he's now stepping up because he's playing with players like Casado, like Enzo, now Palmer. And he's probably like, right, I can now turn it up a notch because if I want to make that run there, I will get the ball. if I'm trying to bounce it off this player and do a 1-2, I know they're going to be on the same wavelength. So now it's like the stars aligned for Chelsea. They had Jackson, who was taking them to there, but now they've got an improvement on Jackson in terms of link-up play build-up, but someone that can now finish at the moment in terms of what we're seeing. And Chelsea, who are a team that have just won the Club World Cup, he's been there, and now they're trying to improve, and they're both moving up a level together. And sometimes that's what you want when you sign a player. You do want to sign the finish article. Don't get it twisted, actually. I was going to say it wrong. You do want to sign the finish article and a player that can come in and fit in like a glove. But at the same time, you want to balance it with experience, but also players that are 23, 24 with that Premier League experience, but also they're ready for a next step. They're coming with the hunger. They want to win things now. They want to get in that Brazil squad for the World Cup next year. And that is everything that Joao Pedro is trying to do. Yeah, he might have not worked out at Brighton, attitude problems, people say, or a dispute. He fell out with the club. Cool. That happens. That's football. We move on. But when I look at Joao Pedro, I've always thought he's got that mentality, man. He's got that mentality to be at Chelsea. Like, he's got that arrogance. He's got that bit of that nastiness about him. He wants to win. He could get a hat-trick and get subbed off at 70 minutes. And that guy's vexed. Joao Pedro is that type of player. He wants to play for 90 minutes, even if he's on 5 goals. Don't sub me off. He wants to be on that pitch, impacting it and winning 10-0 if he can and scoring 10. But also playing well for the team. And I think that's what I like about him. He wants to score goals. He wants to be selfless and create for others. He's good at linking up play and dropping into the pockets. He allows other players to get better, improve. And I do think Chelsea have their number one striker now. Like right now, as I sit here making this video, I think Joao Pedro is the number one striker for Chelsea. And I think it's so good that they've got the depth with Delap, because Delap's not going to be coming in, kicking up a fuss. Delap's young himself. He's younger than 22. Yeah, so Liam Delap is going to be thinking, right, I'm playing in the Champions League. I'm at a team that's going to be competing for top 4. They're playing twice a week. I'm going to get minutes. There's no need for me to kick up a fuss. All I've got to do as Liam Delap is, when I come in, I've got to do my job. I've got to come in and just do my job, which is score goals, impact the team, show the coach that I can be started on if Joao Pedro gets injured, or you want to rotate the team and play a different profile. I'm ready. So that's what you want. At the best football clubs, you want competition for places. And hopefully now, with the age that Joao Pedro and Delap are at, where they're looking to go to the next stage now, they can push each other. You know, having 2 strikers is a good thing. And Chelsea need that, because now they're going to be back in the Champions League and competing. They're not in it to just take part. Let's respect Chelsea. Chelsea are in it because they want to win it, especially after winning the Club World Cup. They're not coming in there to take part. They want to go as far as possible. And, you know, teams need 2 good strikers. And with Delap and Pedro, they've got that now. You know, growing up, teams had 3-4 strikers back in my day. So it's not even a problem where people say, oh, Delap might regret his move now. Why is he going to regret his move? He's only got one player probably ahead of him. They can sometimes play together. They're going to rotate. Chelsea have 2 very good strikers, and 2 strikers that actually have different profiles, because Delap's strong. He can hold it up, back him to defenders, you know, spin off, be on the last man on the shoulder. And he's got a great strike on him. He hits the ball hard and low, left foot, right foot. He's got that more old school feel about him, Liam Delap. And I think you like that. You need that, because defenders nowadays are not used to defended, rugged, old school strikers that can bully you, want to run you down them channels like that. You know, shoulder barges, physical. Yeah. And then now you've got like Joao Pedro, who's more the pretty boy in terms of technical, give and goes, dropping the pockets, nice 1-2s, finesse finishes, dinking it over the keeper. He gives you that nice side of the game. He's also got that nasty streak in him, but the way he plays, that technical, nice side of the game, the South American vibes. So now Chelsea have got 2 strikers that they can go into the season with and attack teams whatever way they want. And I like it. And right now, the start that Joao Pedro is having, I think he's on course for a good season. I'm going to say that he should be aiming for 15 league goals. He's not an out-and-out striker, so I'm not saying 20. I always say it goes from 15, then 20, then 25. But I think Joao Pedro, with the way he plays and he performs, if he gets 15 goals, he's going to be getting assists. He's not getting, like, no assists. He's going to be one of the highest assists for a striker, I reckon, because I think he's unselfish. I think he sets up so if he gets, like, 15 goals, 7 assists, which is like 22 goal contributions, I think that's a good return for Joao Pedro. And I think that's something that he could be aiming for. I'd like to know what he set himself as a goal. I think it's win trophies and contribute. But I think he can definitely add goals to this team. He can add creativity. And then when you've got Delap there battling with you, and Delap that can start games sometimes, and also shown that he's got 12 goals in the Prem last season, I think Chelsea have two good strikers that can make an impact this season. But guys, like this video and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Joao Pedro has had a great start to life at Chelsea.